Good day to all of you. Let's just remember that every day is a good day. When you're going through stuff like this, you just got to look on the bright side, okay? I'm doing my best to train my brain to think that way and to feel that way. And I'm hoping that you do as well if you're going through this crap as I am. Today, let's talk a little bit about um, what goes in. So, what goes into our bodies, what can possibly go into our bodies to try to make the outcome better, make it more positive. Um, so, let's talk about food. Food is super important, right? Uh, we get food advice all the time, whether it's our diet for losing weight or maintaining weight or to gain weight or all of that stuff. And in this time here, we need to talk about the same sort of thing. Um, with the type of food that we consume to help our bodies be strong to fight off these diseases and to help our bodies be strong so that they can recover quickly after we either have surgery or radiation or whatever it is that we need to do to rid our bodies of the cancer. So again, we want to talk about, I want to highly stress prevention, prevention, early detection, right? So a lot of these things we can't prevent. Obviously, there are things that are habit forming that we can prevent doing that'll minimize our exposure to these cancers, such as smoking and that sort of stuff. But we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about early detection and prevent us from going deeper and continuing in a worse cycle with the cancer cells. So early detection, that's what we're emphasizing here. So regardless of whether you're male, female, or whatever you are, you want to be proactive, get these cancers detected early, and you want to be able to have the knowledge and then the ability to fight them off or get them removed or however you plan on doing that. Okay, thanks. That's the little public service that I am trying to provide with these videos here. Please like, follow, share, with all that stuff that everybody always tells you to do on these YouTube channels. And the more people that we can reach with this message of early detection, hopefully the more lives we can save or more lives we can prolong for a good time. So anyways, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking these channels. Please continue to share them with your friends, your family, your neighbors, co-workers, all the above. I've received some really good messages from people who are doing just that. And, the subscriber list is growing, but growing slowly, but it's growing. So that means that more and more people are seeing these videos and hopefully they're taking to heart that, the early detection and prevent it from going any further. Okay, so now back to the topic at hand. So nutrition, foods that we're going to intake. The big one here is, all the reading that I've done, and please feel free. I am not a doctor. I am not anything. I am not telling anybody what to do or anything like that. I'll Google something and then I'll research it with other avenues, and then I'll come up with my own conclusion. Then I want you guys to do the exact same thing. I'm just a small piece of the puzzle here. But all accounts that I've been finding out, cancers feed on sugar. So how much of our daily intake consists of sugars? We can greatly minimize the amount of sugars that we have, and that would be obviously the bad sugars, right? Our Coca-Colas, our fruit juices, even our fruit, the raw sugar, the refined sugar, the rum and cokes that you might like to have this time of year, New Year's approaching, etc., etc. All these sugars are bad. They feed cancers. Cancers love them. They continue to grow and propagate when the sugar's in the body. So I am personally, this is my own decision. I'm not telling anybody else what to do, but I am on a personal quest to eliminate all sugars from my food intake. And of course, it's really hard this time of year. Pardon me. We've got our desserts and our sweets, and we've got our chocolate boxes and boxes of chocolates and all that stuff. It just all adds up in the sugar intake, and our mimosas in the morning if that's what you're into. It's orange juice with that's mixed, right? So there's just so many ways for us to get these sugars, and it's so bad for us, especially those of us who are suffering with this cancer disease, and we want to get rid of it. We want to minimize the sugar intake. So what's left? Well, whole foods are good. Things that are good for you. Proteins, especially proteins derived from chicken and fish. I'm a believer in the red meat stuff as well, but a little bit less of that. Good foods, right? Whole foods, vegetables, some fruits. Again, lots of sugars, all in vegetables too, right? Carrots have a ton of sugar in them, so minimize. I read somewhere else, and I don't know, again, do your own research, and I'm looking into this further, but I'm just going to throw it out there that some raw vegetables, like you see on a vegetable tray, whether they be broccolis or those sorts of vegetables, snap peas and cauliflowers, apparently in the raw form, they have some carcinogens in them as well. I don't think they have a lot, but just be wary of that. Do some research too. I'm not telling you what to do with that. I'm going to be looking more into that as well, but I actually really enjoy having raw vegetables around me and use those as a snack. Another really good snack are legumes, so not only your beans and stuff, but peanuts. They're very good. They're a nice light snack to have. Have a few of those, pop them in, and try to put your mind away from the sugar that you're missing. Other nuts, of course, too, walnuts and pecans and cashews and some almonds. They're all good for you. Do your own research, though. So then we're going to talk about some other things that we can put into our bodies to try to help ward off. And this is where it's going to become a little bit more controversial. I'm going to personally try something that I've been reading about, and I'm going to sort of take you down a little path, and it sounds exactly like me. So with my prostate cancer, I was told that I am a 7 on the Gleason scale. So I'm a 7 on the Gleason scale, and the Gleason scale is made up of 2 parts. I am a 4 and a 3 rather than a 3 and a 4, whatever that means. Okay, so do your research, find out what that means to you. But I'm a 4 and a 3, which makes a 7 on the Gleason scale. I read a study just recently, and I'm hesitant to even bring this up because of the controversy around this drug that I'm going to mention to you in a minute. Back when COVID hit, there was mention of the use of the drug ivermectin. Ivermectin, for all intents and purposes, now is used in the equestrian world. It's to help horses rid themselves of certain parasites. And that's great. So you go into a horse or a tacklery or something like that, you can buy ivermectin. It's not a hard thing to do. Here's what you're not being told that I know a little bit about just by doing some research, and that you can actually be prescribed ivermectin by your doctor to do pretty much the same thing. So ivermectin was discovered in the 70s in Japan. It's a mineral that's found in soil in some areas of Japan. And what it was discovered that it could do was it would combat and kill off parasites. Parasites that live in the gut, in the body. And so they started using it on animals right away, and it was working great. And then they had this outbreak. Well, the outbreak's been going on for 400 years in a certain area in Africa, and it's called river blindness. And so it's a parasite that's found in the water, and it affects obviously the vision, and also it can extend outward, and it can affect the skin and other conditions of the human body. And they've been struggling with this in Africa for hundreds of years. Because it's a parasite-borne type of an illness, the doctors that be back in 1979, 1980 chose to try doing some human trials on it, got permission to do human trials on it. It was a great success. So they continued with the human trials on that particular river blindness and a couple of other things, and they're getting met with great success with ivermectin. Since then, so it became approved by the FDA in 1987 for human use. And since then, it has been used extensively throughout Africa to cure and to help cure many, many, many hundreds of thousands of people. It is being prescribed in North America by doctors for certain people who have parasitic infections, and it is proving to help with that as well. So here's where it gets controversial, because it's now sort of being dubbed as a wonder drug. Other people have been using it for other things and having certain amounts of success. That's great. This is all found, you can Google it, you can WebMD it, you can do whatever you want with it, that's fine. You'll find your own information. That's why I'm just sort of giving a brief synopsis to you. So then this ivermectin has been tried for many things, and the controversy started with COVID, and Donald Trump stood up there and talked about ivermectin, and of course, because Donald Trump said it, you get all the other people sneering at him and saying, well, if he said it, then it can't be true, and all the rest. So we'll let that go. That's politics, for this isn't a political channel. But having said that, it didn't go unfounded, and it wasn't just born of a lie. It is actually a wonder drug that's done a lot of good. And please, again, investigate it for yourself. So going back to this case study that I was just telling you about with the Gleason scale of 7, well, that's me. I'm 4 and 3 equaling 7, prostate cancer. I think my numbers are somewhere around 4.63, which is very, very similar to what this particular study was on. Adult male, a little older than myself. So they took a course of ivermectin. I do not know how much or for how long. These are things I don't know yet. I am going to look into it. But the ironic thing, or the fascinating thing about the PSA, is that they went down to around 2, from 4.63 to around 2 after a month. That was very interesting to me. Now, I've already made the decision. We're going to hack this thing out. We're going to go under the knife. We're going to get rid of it. But what if, there's other cancer cells that are spilling out of this thing into other parts of my body? It happens. It's what happens. It's how cancer spreads, right? So if we can knock it out, I think I might just go and buy myself some horse pills. I don't know. Sounds pretty crazy to me. I don't think that was something I was always considering. I'll probably put myself firmly on the side of, yeah, okay, whatever, when it was talked about with COVID. I'll put myself fully on the, tinfoil hat, not wanting to wear one with this sort of thing. But having read a couple more studies about the effects that ivermectin has had on certain cancers, I'm willing to give it a try. I don't think it's going to hurt me, so I'm going to give it a try, and please stay tuned for that. So I'm going to go out and buy my $100 Canadian bottle of ivermectin, which I think in US money is around 52 cents. Just kidding. But anyways, I'm going to go and buy the bottle, and I'm going to give it a try. Of course, I won't know anytime soon, but what will show up probably is my post-surgical. Maybe I'll convince the doctor to maybe do a PSA prior to surgery. That'd be great. Anyways, I'm going to try it, and I want to try it. I want to know if it's done any good, and I'll report back to you. Again, I am not wearing a tinfoil hat. I am just repeating some of the research that I have done on it. Okay, so that about wraps up today. I want to talk about putting stuff into you. So we're consuming. I'll name this one consuming. So we talked about consuming proper foods that are healthy for us, non-sugary. Sugar feeds cancers. And then, I'm going to try this ivermectin thing. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, I appreciate you listening and watching. Please share it. Please subscribe to it. And please listen to what I have to suggest to you. Go get yourselves checked. Get in there for some preemptive information so that you know what you're dealing with. All right? Until next time, thank you very much.